Hey everyone, welcome to the Nerd Herd Show. I'm Rich.
And I'm Nick.
And this is the Over a Beer channel, and we are doing a very special discussion, another one of kind of our one-off discussions about Nintendo, if you haven't noticed already.
We've got developing news.
Yes, we do.
Not even breaking developing. It's not done.
Well, no, it's over.
Oh, it's over.
It's over.
It's broken.
It broke. News broke. It developed. It broke. I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm on my phone here, just making sure I have the details of.
Tell your mom I said hi.
Yeah, we'll do.
So what's happened? Basically,
so there was a, I guess an investors conference or investors meeting, something going on in Japan tonight. Well, the morning for them, the evening for us, and the whole rumor was that they were going to unveil their first smartphone game. So let's just I'm going to hit the bullet points of this thing that's come out.
While you look it up, I'll just say,
okay.
For those who didn't know, Nintendo, who's long had a stance of not getting into the mobile phone gaming market, a few months back announced a partnership with DNA, this mobile phone gaming company, and a partnership that would bring new Nintendo games to mobile phones. They had long said that they wouldn't do this because they felt like it would jeopardize the sales of 3DSs and such, but they went back on that, mainly because the Wii U sales were so bad they needed something, and mobile gaming, I mean, some of those games, astronomical sales figures, lots of money to be made, so Nintendo was in, that probably pleased their shareholders, and so tonight they were trying to please them more by unveiling the first game, maybe. So
yeah.
Rich, what did we
So here we go. This mobile app, or this site's giving me some problems right now. But essentially, I'm getting all this stuff off the Wall Street Journal's website. They did a live they didn't tweet it, but the live update as developments were happening. So I'm just going to kind of go by this beat by beat and just, God, this thing's freaking out on me. So let's see. 905. The 5 smartphone games Nintendo plans to release with DNA by March 2017 can be an additional. Nintendo could generate 6 billion yen in operating profits a year from one smartphone game, says Kamada of Tokai Tokyo Securities, whoever that is.
So, alright, let's touch on this real quick.
Okay.
They're saying March 2017?
They're having 5 of them out by March 2017.
Okay. Because the original report was that the first game was going to be available in October of 2015.
Which is almost over.
Basically done. That's not happening.
No, that's definitely not happening, but they're saying, from this and the reports I read before we started this, that all 5 of them are supposed to be out by March 7th. So over the next year and a half or so, we'll have 5 smartphone games. Which for Nintendo-produced games is kind of on par. Let's see. Promising. Tough time ahead for Nintendo's Wii U and console and 3DS handheld devices because rivals are already moving on to the next generation technology, such as virtual reality. Okay, Nintendo CEO Kimishima began his presentation. Guys, if you didn't know, former President Satoru Iwata passed away this year, succeeded recently by Kimi Schmidt. So this is kind of one of his first big meetings, I think, to anybody. His first kind of big press conference announcement meeting, public. They did announce today also, it's not going to be listed in here, but they announced there's going to be a direct coming before the end of the year. So I'm very curious to see what happens there. He says, Tatsumi Kimishima says that there are more titles unannounced coming this year to promote both the Wii U and 3DS. For the year-end holiday season. So that's interesting that they would have unannounced stuff with 2 months left of the year.
Digital.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess HD.
That's true. That technically hasn't been announced yet. 70% of Animal Crossing fans in Japan are women, and Nintendo pushing more games to win more women users this Christmas. Okay. Super Mario Maker hit 1 million sales in just 3 weeks. I read something today or yesterday that it was almost already at 2 million. And that came out at the end of September, mid-September?
Yeah.
Something?
I mean, that's
really good.
That's definitely awesome for Nintendo. That's great for Mario.
Mm-hmm.
We are currently, today is Wednesday. Halo 5 came out on a Tuesday. We'll probably get sales figures in a couple days. My guess is it sold way more than that in one day. But good for them.
But for an install base as small as the Wii U,
Yeah.
it's relative.
It's a good thing,
There was something I saw today that more than half Wii U owners own a copy of Mario Kart, so I mean that was a big push for them. Amiibo figurine shipments worldwide hit 21.1 million at the end of September, up from the 14.7 million at the end of June, which is really good. Not surprised since how popular they are. You know, you've got one of them here out. You get a whole collection up there. I've got way too many. But yeah, not totally surprised, and they seem to be doing a lot better with their stock right now.
I've got my cool base.
Yeah, you got your own special base here. That's not the actual. God, if you hit that camera. This is why we can't have nice things. Nintendo can't keep up with demand for Animal Crossing Amiibo cards. Kimishima apologizes and they will start sales of a new round of shipments today. Okay, here we go. Here's kind of the first big news. Nintendo's new membership service will be called Nintendo Account. It will connect hardware users as well as PC and smart device users. So that's kind of aligned with the rumors that we've been hearing of them trying to create a big ecosystem across their platforms and smartphones and everything else.
So it had been Club Nintendo.
Yes, it had been Club Nintendo, and that closed down in...
Which is a cool name, it's a fun name, and now they decided let's take the fun out of it.
Nintendo Account.
Nintendo Account.
Let's see.
I don't like that name.
It's a name, as long as it works, I'm okay with it.
It's just not creative. We got PS Plus. We got games with gold. Nintendo Account. I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. No, that's fair.
I'm just,
We'll go into a little more detail after we get through this. Nintendo will use a cloud-based data service to transfer game data between mobile games and console games. So that's interesting. That hinting obviously towards connectivity. Other than Nintendo Account having connectivity, but reasons to have these games connected other than just having your account linked.
Yeah. If you play all 5 mobile games, you'll be able to make Yoshi blue. It'll really affect games, I'm sure.
Launch date of Nintendo's smartphone games have been delayed. The launch will now be March of 2016, not by the end of the year. Nintendo eyes global launches depending upon the game. So obviously, like you said, it's supposed to be October. October's basically over. Clearly nothing's coming out this October. I was kind of hoping that they would announce a game today. I know what the game is. We'll get into that in a second. But I was kind of hoping that it would be like, well, here's our game. It's available right now. Go download it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. So March 2016 is the time that they're eyeing it. Pretty much in line with Nintendo delaying stuff recently.
That's what it is. They should have sent a Nintendo Account. It should have been Nintendo Delay.
Okay, moving along. Again, this is all coming from the Wall Street Journal's sort of live update feed. So you can find all this information there, and I'm sure by the time you guys will be able to find it on most kind of major news sites. The new smartphone game will be called Miitomo, Miitomo. So Mi, like the Mi, is Miitomo.
And Tomo, like a tummy.
Sure. It will be free to play with attractive add-ons that people can pay for, Kimishima says. Other smartphone games will be paid to download. Looks like Mii's go ahead and communicate with other Mii's without your knowledge. This will help people who are hesitant to talk about themselves to communicate with others and reveal a side of your friends you never knew, Kimishima says. Now again, I also want to read, this is all translated from a Japanese thing, so that sounds a little odd.
Yeah.
But this is, I imagine, kind of a fairly little translation that may not come across quite the way they would want to market this towards the American audience.
Right.
Because right off the bat, for me, that's like the whole kind of problem when people had with Xbox was always on. It's like, oh, people can see stuff that you don't necessarily want. It's like that kind of, that has that kind of connotation to it, but I imagine it's not quite that.
I'm sure the Direct will clear that up.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hit more of that from the Direct, and we'll probably do another one of these when the Direct hits. So Miitomo is the first of 5 smartphone apps that Nintendo plans to release by March 2017. In the new Miitomo game, users will design their own avatars, or Miis, to communicate with other users. Executive Shina Takahashi says that Nintendo will find ways to encourage people who are hesitant to talk or to share things about themselves. So it sounds kind of almost like a self-update thing. Almost, you know, a lot of times, a lot of 3DS games I've been playing recently, and Wii U games are like, oh, do you want to share that to Miiverse? Do you want to do this? And I'm always like, I have better things to do. I don't feel like making a post to Miiverse right now.
Right.
So I imagine this will be kind of an automatic thing. Maybe like you could almost set like your PlayStation Network to, you know, if you earn a trophy, it'll just automatically update on your Facebook or update here or there. So I'm wondering if that's kind of where this is going. So let's see. That was that one. Shigeru Miyamoto says DNA will help operate the smartphone games, while Nintendo will focus on ways to guide users to its hardware. The 5 smartphone apps won't compromise half of sales, Kimishima says. Nintendo's goal is to use smart devices to increase the value of its IP, which will help sales of both software and hardware. So it's kind of what we figure. They're not going to risk, you know, conflicting on both of them. According to Kimishima, one reason for the delay of the smartphone app is it needs more lead time to fully promote and explain Miitomo. The company is busy promoting other titles in the pipeline right now. It will start promoting Miitomo after the year-end holiday season. He says this should have little impact on earnings. Again, this is investors being so honest. It's going back to their stock and investments and things like that.
So, main takeaway: we know what our first game is, sort of.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit more after this.
Okay, right.
Do you want to keep going? Or do you want to
keep going.
Okay. Curious about how DNA and Shigeru Miyamoto again says DNA will focus on operation of games, which suggests the game design is all Nintendo. According to the writer for this second thought, not clear whether Miitomo should be called a game. It looks more like a communication app with Mii avatars that can be ported to games on Nintendo hardware. Nintendo shares are down 7.5% on this news.
That it's not a game?
No, I think just news in general.
Yeah.
I think it's just as this thing's going, the shares are going down. Or it's well, yeah, they make a major announcement, their shares will bounce one way or the other. And I think a lot of people were probably expecting a little bit more from this, and they'll be like, oh, Nintendo's, you know, they had projected to their investors before that they were supposed to have these games up by October.
I think once their investors realize that we're doing this video, it's gonna.
Yeah, it's all going to be based on this video.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We got you, Kimmy Schmidt.
Miyamoto chimes in on that next. We are going to be far more aggressive in using our IP and not just stop with licensing as in the past. The first example is Amiibo. We want our IP to better reach more children, and smart devices is just one vehicle. So that kind of aligns up with sort of what they've been talking about. I got a couple more things here, and we can go into some of that a little bit more. No details on NX, which is not surprising. Kimishima, how can we make a completely different kind of game that nobody has ever thought of? It's the same issue we've always faced. And that's it. Here's kind of just their wrap-up on this.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is from Wall Street Journal. It just says by Wall Street Journal staff. So here's the wrap-up post here. In conclusion, Nintendo has introduced its long-awaited and highly anticipated first smartphone app called Miitomo, being pushed back release date to spring of next year. The title is a new franchise for the company, first of 5 smartphone apps Nintendo plans to release by March 2017. But we're not sure whether to call Miitomo a game. Users will design their own avatars or Miis to communicate with other users. Nintendo is saving its most famous character, Mario the Plumber, and others for a later date. Analysts say the company probably didn't want to risk Mario on an unproven mobile format, but might introduce him later. Nintendo also said it's creating a new membership service called Nintendo Account to connect users of its hardware as well as PCs and mobile devices. It said it would use a cloud-based service to transfer data between mobile games and console games. And that's a wrap-up. Again, if you want to see that whole feed, it's on the Wall Street Journal site, and I'm sure a lot of other sites will be reporting on this soon.
Alright, so initial takeaways.
Yeah.
Because we're focusing mostly, you know, the other stuff's great that Mario Maker sold. And
Yeah.
Women like Animal
Again,
Crossing.
this was a very kind of investor share, so they have to kind of keep those things in there to keep investors
Women
happy.
like Animal Crossing. Cool. The fact that it's been delayed, I think it was clear it was happening.
Yeah.
Right. Everything gets delayed by them now.
Which
we hadn't heard anything.
We joke about everything's getting delayed. I'm okay if the game, as long as it's helping the game, I'm okay. You want to delay Zelda, you want to delay Star Fox, you want to delay the stuff. If it's good when it comes out, you delay it as long as you want to delay it.
Yeah, absolutely. But so for this one, you know, all right. So our first game, I'm assuming there was some sort of demo, maybe footage showed.
Maybe.
Maybe it was just an explanation. Whatever it is, one of the biggest problems with the reason that the Wii U didn't sell is people to this day are not aware whether or not it's a new console.
Yep.
It was unspecific in its branding.
Well, you know, it came out at E3, and all they showed was a controller. They showed a gamepad and said, "This is
Right.
the Wii U." So no one, even industry people, were
one of
like,
our
what?
fellow over a beer people, his girlfriend just bought him a Wii U,
Mhm.
Christian, who people will get to know in his Let's Plays once he does them. His girlfriend still did not know that Wii U was a system.
Mhm.
It doesn't have. It's confusing with the name, and
Yeah.
so we have a thing here from the Wall Street Journal who were at the presentation, who are still unclear whether or not the first game is actually a game.
Mhm.
So, which means it could just be a thing where you have your Me and
Yeah,
you kind of
it sounds like
connect.
a mobile, like a social networking app for me's, is what it sounds like to me.
That sounds like a Me app. That's not for me. That's not exciting to me.
That's the
You
how
excited
I'm reading
about
into this. I'm not so excited about it. I'll use it.
Will you? If
Prob-
there's nobody to use it with.
Well, okay. Here's my kind of one of my problems with like the way Nintendo's sort of online system works is it's never really felt cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go on PlayStation Network, and as many problems as the PlayStation Network has, you go from your PS4 to your PS3 to your Vita. Everything it's one ecosystem, and it all works across the thing. And I download something here, and I can show up here, and I can do all this stuff. I can cross save, I can cross buy, all that kind of stuff, and it works for the most part pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo, between their console and their handheld, has always felt like two very separate things that never really connected.
Yeah.
I mean, even when it was one of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games that was supposed to be a cross-buy, it really wasn't. It was cross-buy in the sense that if you bought one, you got a download code for the other. It didn't register on your Nintendo Wii U to show up if you buy it for the 3DS that,
Sure.
oh, you've bought this game. And you need two separate friend code, but
I
there's a
don't know
friend
if
code on
this
it.
sounds like any kind of an explanation for that either.
No.
To me, one of the things that, I never used the Miiverse,
Mhm.
not interested in that, mainly because of the setup, and also, nobody else that I know uses it either.
Well,
But what I'll say is one thing that I thought they always did do well with the interconnectivity with people is the Street Pass.
yeah,
I loved,
definitely.
especially at the height of its popularity with 3DS, I couldn't go on campus or go to a convention and not get a million.
But that was
people
the,
Street Pass.
I want to carry my 3DS around because I want to get my Street Pass.
The thing that I liked about the Street Pass was going past other people and getting their puzzle panels
Mhm.
and going through the find me with
Yeah.
their character. The most annoying part of it to me was scrolling through their stupid little messages. I like cats. I like dogs.
Mhm.
And then you cross them a couple times. You could write personal messages like, "Hey, we could write we're from over a beer."
Yeah.
I would right trigger that thing to speed through it as quickly
Yeah, I
as
would
possible. This thing, the way that they're describing it, sounds like it's just that part. It's just like connecting with people with your Me, talking to them. That sounds like the worst part of that without the best part.
Yeah.
Early, we don't know much.
Sure.
I haven't seen the direct, but they're not clear that it's even a game. That's what it sounds like to me.
That's fair. I agree with you on that. It also sounds to me that they're almost trying to set this up so that they're ready for whatever the NX is when it launches. I saw some rumor today that maybe July 2016 is when they might be looking. That might be E3 announcement or right after the E3 announcement. That was kind of a rumor. Is we'll be hearing some more about it then, or it will possibly be released then. But it sounds that this is hitting March to kind of get their online system going and in place, so that when you jump on to whatever NX ends up being, everything is connected. And that's, like I said, that's kind of been one of my big issues, and that needs a revamp. Their Miiverse needs, they just kind of did an overhaul, and it helps some of it, but it still needs like a serious, something's got to happen there. It's got to be easier. It's got to be easier than having to have a 12-digit
I would
friend
love
code.
to see Nintendo for once, not just have a good cross connectivity between systems, a good online model. Create the next way that we view that stuff.
Yeah.
Because they are always so far behind on that level of it. When local multiplayer was a thing, they were at the forefront of
Mhm.
co-op and Mario, and and multiplayer on the 64. Think of the days of playing GoldenEye with your friends.
Yeah.
But like as soon as the internet came into it, you know, like the GameCube didn't even have it. And that was the time when people were buying Xboxes and stuff, and we were seeing the first early days of online play. And then, you know, once we got the 360 and stuff came out, and PS3, the Wii, like, who was playing Wii games online? Like, you could play Smash Melee, you could play, or I guess it was Brawl. It was awful. Like, they've always been a step behind the Wii U. It's better.
It's definitely better. I've played some Smash Online. I've played some Mario Kart Online.
Finding friends and stuff, the codes and
that's
all that.
Their biggest. That's one of my biggest issues. They should be able to. We street past. Oh, I actually know this person. I want to add you as a friend.
Yeah, there was, you know, the list of online issues that people have with the way that they approach Splatoon, with not having, you know, not being able to talk to each other. You still got, you know, it could be better.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to catch up to where Sony and
they need to be
are.
ahead.
Stop doing that. Be ahead for once. That's what I'm hoping with the NX.
Well, yeah, I mean, and kind of reports with, like, you know, we mentioned an episode or two ago about, you know, they were supposed to have they had report industry-leading chips. So that's kind of, it sounds like they're trying to get there, and they're doing what they can to get there. It always just felt like they're trying to sort of protect its consumers from each other. Like, it's like, oh, you know, they try to keep everything on a family level, and I'm fine with that. I get that, because they've always kind of been a family console kind of. Yeah, they've kind of always aimed at that demographic, but not all of your customers need that. We don't all need to be protected.
Right.
You know, if you want to cut out voice chat, cut out certain features, have parental settings, have whatever you need. But, like, if I want to just go online and just chat with, if I want to play Splatoon with you and coordinate and talk, I shouldn't have to go through Skype. But this, I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's still early. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I still, you know, as many problems as the Wii has had, I still love my Wii, or my Wii U. But it sounds to me like they're almost building the foundation for what their social and online system is going to be in the future. And trying to, you know, as they're going to do smartphone apps, they're going to try to have that more interconnected, and you can do it with PC, and you can do it here, and you can do it, and, you know, just all kind of that cohesive ecosystem that I've been waiting for from them, and to kind of catch up on.
Yeah, we'll see. And so by year's end, we'll have that direct.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's more clarity there. Maybe it'll just, you know, they'll be letting us know they're up to 73% female approval rating in Animal Crossing. But we'll see. So that's the Nintendo news.
Yeah, that's kind of the big.
For now,
big news
as
for
we
today.
understand it.
Yeah.
So far.
So if you guys have any more information and want to chat with us about it, go ahead and leave us a comment. You can tweet us also. I'm on Twitter at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
The channel's on Twitter at OABeer_official. You can also email us at overbeerofficial@gmail.com, and we're on Facebook at facebook.com/overabeer. Our YouTube channel does not have a custom URL yet because we have 17 of the 500 subscribers that we need. So if you like the content that we're doing, like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the page. Thank you so much for all the support you've given us so far. We're really excited to keep bringing you Nintendo news and all kinds of other news. Again, this is Nerd Herders. We do a weekly show as well, not just these one-off discussions. I think that's going to wrap it up for this discussion.
We'll be back soon with more.
Great.